Well, hello there, and welcome back to another exciting edition of Jedi Academy. I'm Ranger J 1999, one of your hosts from Team Instinct, and joining me is the epic crew that you've come to know and love to answer all your questions if you're new to Jedi Academy on Reality Skew Gamers. The way this works is we bring a bunch of potato heads, me being the biggest one of all, together to sit around and talk Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, and what we do is we let you guys ask all the questions, and when you do, make sure you put it in the form of a question. We'll scoop it up, and then we'll go around our panel, around the corn, as Grande Patron would say, and we will discuss it, try to give you the best answer we possibly can, and that's kind of how this works. This is for you guys, and that's why we are drinking large amounts of coffee, because it's early for a lot of us, but you know what? It's all worth it, because we got lots to talk about, and I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions, as you always do. So with that being said, let's introduce everybody that's making this happen. First, we have Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, the Troll Extraordinaire. He will be scooping up your questions and monitoring chat. So if you have a question, again, make sure you either put it in the form of a question or you put question in front of the statement so we know that it's a question. That helps us differentiate what is the question and what isn't, because sometimes if you just put something out there and it's not there, we might not be able to understand if it's a question or not. Also joining us, we were somehow able to go get a furlough. He's here. He's on the run, but somehow he managed to be here. The Brown Gandalf himself, the beardless one, the Wi-Fi government stealer, Grande Patron.
Hey, how's it going?
I know, Grande. I mean, you've been really good this week, and I mean, they're really giving you a lot of privileges this week. You've been, you know, you're not shivving anybody and stuff. See how this works? You know, if you're good in prison, they let you get time to do things.
They do. Yep, they definitely let me. They let me out for good behavior every once in a while.
That's right. So, it's a work program, I think.
Well, you know what it was? I unlocked BB8, and they were like, "We're so happy that you unlocked BB8 that we'll go ahead and give you some time."
Yeah, I'm sure that's not what happened. We know better. Goodness. All right, let's introduce the other people on the panel today. We have from Team Instinct as well, my brother from TI, Mr. Warrior from his channel Warrior Presents. What's going on, partner?
What's happening?
What's going on? We've brought Grande and Warrior together. The universe aligns. Look out, people.
I know, man. I was so excited to hear that Grande was on the chat. It's been a while, man. It's almost like a family reunion.
I know.
There you go.
Yeah, it brings back memories. It's just such a beautiful moment. Also joining us is, of course, my young apprentice, the Lady of the Sith, the dark side incarnate herself, Darth Bella. Guten Tag, Darth Bella.
Guten Tag. It's nice to be on the show.
That's right. We're always glad to have you. Now, have you been force lightning people, force choking, practicing your dark side arts?
Yeah, I tried to, but I'm visiting friends right now, and so I have ample opportunity to practice my dark side.
Not on your friends, I hope. Just yeah, not on your friends though, right? Just random people who they walk by and you just force choke them.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to find people in the streets, and then much better.
That's right. See, that's how you have to do it. Because you're staying with your friends. It would be awkward if you force lightning them for like a mistake. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can just do it one time, and then I have no friends anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, that's stupid.
Oh, Jesus. All right. And then also joining us is the man with the plan himself, Mr. Mike Hunt. Mikey, what's going on?
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to everyone over this side of the pond.
That's right.
I'm having fun. I've tried to gag any cusses that might be within microphone reach.
Oh, I don't care anymore. Bring your cussing daughter on. It's just, I'm over it. You know, as long as she doesn't say every other word as a cuss word, I don't care anymore.
Oh no, she's that's not a good idea at the moment. She's really on form today.
Is she really?
Oh yeah.
What'd you do? What'd you do to piss her off?
Created her. She's the monster mini me.
Jeez. I created her.
No, nothing. It was the guys that were parked around the back playing to quote her, crappy music loud all night. Yeah.
Well,
it was quite amusing hearing an 18-year-old going off about people outside.
Well, we'll have to teach her kung fu fighting and send her off to do evil things. So,
yes.
All right, so we got questions coming in hot and heavy, but first let's talk about the big thing this week, which was the BB8 event. We streamed it live. I know Warrior did too. We'll start with you, Warrior. What did you think of the BB8 event and BB8 overall?
So the BB8 event was fun. I really liked the artistic application that they did, as far as who you had to go against and the backgrounds, the planet that we were on. I was hoping for a little Maz in the background, little Maz Katana like popping out or something, but it was extremely exciting just to see how they built the environment. It really took me in. Watching BB8 run, he was kind of cute, trying to get some help from his homeboys and girls. But no, and then once we unlocked him, of course, we got to have him and play with him. And of course, my idiot self didn't keep Mark III ability map material around. I don't think I ever have that. So I need those $500 or those 500 crystal ability map pieces where you get the 3 Omegas and 10 Mark IIIs. I need those to come back like something fierce. It's like a crack addiction, right? But I got to play with him even with his abilities at like level 3. And I've been practicing with my resistance, because if anyone is listening to this, they know I'm not really amazing with my resistance yet. I've only been playing with them for 2 weeks, and I've only ran Galactic War with them twice now. But I'm practicing in Galactic War with them, and the reason for that is so I can get better, so that way I don't look like a complete moron when I'm using them. But I'm learning the dynamics of all of the interactivity, so there's just a lot to...
Resistance is amazing with him. I can tell you that, man. Me and Loki on the stream were doing a ton of GWs with them. Oh my god!
Yeah, and so I used him, and he's definitely made Resistance a whole lot better. I'd love to say the same thing about droids, but I don't really.
No,
I haven't really played around with droids yet, so I don't know.
No, I'll help you out. No. I mean, it makes them better, but not enough to be anything, because Loki tried to run his top droid squad, I mean, mods and everything, and oh boy. he got smoked. It was pretty bad. Let's go around the corner, as old Grandi would say, and see how everybody did. Bella, I'm sure you did, but just to verify, did you unlock your 7-star BB8? Darth Bella?
Sorry, he was talking to my friend, explaining her what I do.
About force choking them?
I didn't force choke any yet.
Okay. Well, I was just making sure.
Okay. BB8 was the topic, right?
Yes.
Yeah. BB8, he's very cute, and I could.
Oh my god, you and Crazy and Infinity and people, like half the. He's so cute and cuddly. You know that Finn has a damn. I think he has a doll that he has in bed with him with that. Do you have one of those too, Bella? You're going to ruin your dark side credit here. I
don't have a BB8 doll.
Good. Okay, good.
I need one. And I know that those little droids can be very mean. I mean, I'm a huge fan of R2-D2, and he's a meanie. I mean, anyone who goes and puts fire on other people is a meanie, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
So I could get BB8, but so far I just got the 5-star, and I didn't have time to go again for the 6 or 7-star. I have got my first order on 7-star, but obviously I don't know. I didn't upgrade them enough, or RNG was bad. Who knows? So,
yeah, that's a great point. I can tell you that mine weren't geared that great, but I'll tell you the one thing I did have was a Xylo Ren, and he just rocked shop in that battle. So if you have a high-ranking Kylo Ren with a Zeta, you will have no problem with that battle. But
yeah, I didn't put a Zeta on him.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
From what we gathered from everybody that was we were dealing with, Grandi, you were there. No, you weren't there. It was just me, Loki, Infinity. But a lot of people were able to get it with like Gear 8 people with their first order. They had to do it a couple times, but they were able to get it. And of course, you probably have your 7-star Grandi BB8.
Yeah.
7-star. Haven't put in. I've got him.
I've got him gear 8.
85. I've got him gear 8 as well. Haven't put any Omegas on him. Just gonna probably run a couple GWs with him. Kind of try to figure out the mechanics and figure out if I think it's gonna be worth it for territory battles and possibly a raid. Those are my two things, but I want to run a couple of Galactic Wars through it first.
Well, if you're available tonight, we can do that tonight, my friend.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Savior of GW, because me and Loki and you can do that, and we can play around with it. Now I did with Loki, and he's very much going to be huge for territory battles. Mike, what did you think of old BB8?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the challenge. It was a pleasant change to actually have a squad ready for a legendary
Yes,
event.
It's
like, what? you mean Zeta in my first order 9 months ago actually now pays off? Yay!
Yes, it did.
I mean, they haven't been redundant all that time. He mutters bitterly under his breath. But yeah, no, it was fun. I love the graphics. Love the yeah. And I'm enjoying counting the turds over everyone's head on each round of GW at the moment.
Oh, good Lord. All right. Let's go down let's start from the top and work our way down. All right. So Warrior, start with you, and then we'll just go down the list. First question from Jonathan Moser. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I think Moser. ROHRMOSER. It's early in the morning. Do not try to ask me to pronounce names. Good Lord. All right. He says, do you guys think that we won't be getting any more new characters added to the Shard Shop like they did with Nihilus and Fulcrum now that it's gear exclusive?
Nope, we're not.
Yeah, I don't foresee that either.
Yeah, so they could change anything at any time. Everything's subject to change. They're a smart business. They're really smart. They know how to, stay viable as far as making money and the longevity of the game. And, we always say this, but it remains to be seen. Like, they have to make money or they shut it down and it goes away like every other game that hasn't made money. So they got to make money. And one of the things that makes them money are the packs for characters. Now, the good news is for everybody is that every character eventually goes free to play, or free to play farmable. What that means is you either can get the character free to play, or you can get the characters that are needed to get them as a free to play method. So if you wait long enough, everything opens up eventually for you by free to play. So as long as you're willing to wait, you can have, the world's your oyster is free to play. It just takes time. With pay to play, though, spending money, which is how they're going to make the money and keep this game open, is they have to have some sort of a catch, and that's really the gearing of characters. That's basically their shtick, so to speak. And then, of course, now they're kind of moving away from giving those premium characters away through the Shard Shop, because what was happening, and I think it was smart, is a lot of free to play and other individuals, including myself, were just spending all of our currency in every store on something we already had, so we could convert like 1,000 currency a day. So we had like 7,000 currency a day, and we were able to buy fully crafted raid gear pieces. We were able to buy, a character like Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum to 7 stars in, a couple weeks. Because we were saving up that currency before she was launched. And so these premium characters that they were hoping people would go and buy chromium packs, the people were getting them out of the Shard Shop. And so what's cool is now there's basically almost any gear you need in there, and at very reasonable rates. So it's kind of give and take, right? So they gave something that people have been asking for. Let's alleviate the gear crunch. But then they took back some of those premium characters, which means that truly now they're putting those characters back behind that, 3-month wall that they've mentioned early on. There's that 3-month cadence where 2 to 3 months they'll release them as free to play somewhere on the board. And so they've kind of taken that back, and that's okay, because if you wait 3 months, you'll get that character somewhere. So for people that wanted Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum and weren't able to get her in the Shard Shop, it's sad, big but she will be available on the board here very shortly, kind of thing. Yeah. So it's, I get why they did it, and I know it hurts some people's feelings, but I think we just need to get over that. It's a business decision, and they didn't do it, and it didn't negatively affect us that bad, because we can still access those characters eventually, and we now have way more access to gear and a plethora of it, and to decide how we want to burn that currency now and gear up characters. So for a free-to-play, if I still was using my free-to-play account, I would be stoked. The only thing I would say, because I know they listen to this podcast, the only thing I would say to them if I was speaking directly to them was the fully crafted pieces. We're still exorbitantly high. They were 6,300, but I bought one every single week, and the raid gear pieces are just a huge hang-up in the game. So I wish that they would bring back the fully crafted pieces of raid gear. But, if not, it's not the end of the world. But that would be my only.
Yeah. Give and take. That's the way it works. All right. Next question will go to, let's see here. This is for Grande. This is from our girl Keyboard, who it's her birthday weekend, Grande. So happy birthday. She's turning 18 years old.
Yes.
Now, back in our day,
awesome.
in the Middle Ages, when we were turning 18, do you remember those days? I do.
I do. I remember when I turned 18.
We were both in the military.
I was in the military when I turned 18. That's right.
Lord.
I was in Columbia, South Carolina at Fort Jackson.
Relaxing Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord. But she wants to know, this is her question. We know that Nightsisters are getting a rework. Do you think they will be game-changing? I knew this was one of these questions. Come on, Grande. You've been waiting for this moment. It's your time to shine.
I've been waiting for this moment since February of 2016.
My God.
I mean, that's basically whenever I figured out that I had gone way too far into Nightsisters. So do I think they'll be I want them to be, I would like, here's what I think. If you look at different factions, and what I mean by this is, if you look at a faction like First Order, or you look at a faction like Resistance, they all seem to do one thing really well. So that might be, if you look at Jedi's, it's foresight. If you look at First Order, they're definitely an advantage style team. If you look at Resistance, it's definitely an exposed type team. If you look at droids, it's definitely going to be like speed and crit. So there are when they probably do a rework of Nightsisters, they'll probably do something. It might have to do with Resurrection. They might get something else along with Resurrection. We'll just have to see. Will Resurrection be enough? Resurrection sometimes is kind of RNG dependent, and so it probably won't. I mean, if you were able to Omega it and they rezzed with full health and full protection after you killed them, yeah, that would be amazing. But if they were res with just a little sliver of health, it's not going to be amazing. So I think the jury's still out on probably what'll happen with Nightsisters. I'd like to see them. I can dream and theory craft about all different kind of things that could happen. Let's say they got a new buff or a new debuff, right? Potentially something that maybe unlocked a locked buff or unlocked a locked debuff. That would be pretty sweet. Who knows, right? But I think we're just going to have to wait and kind of see what comes of the Nightsisters before you go invest heavily in them. Do not invest heavily in Nightsisters on they might be great. That's a really bad idea. There are much better teams that you should be putting your resources on at the moment than Nightsisters.
There you go. All right, next question for Bella, Darth Bella. And this is, let's see, with the potential Nightsister faction pass, looks like there may be more focus on dark side. What do you think they could do to make dark side ships better? Ooh.
First, they could make some of the dark side ships farmable. I mean, we're still waiting for Kylo support shuttle, and the TIE Reaper is best 4-star if you didn't spend a lot of money, and that would be the first step. And then I think we should have a second capital ship, dark side capital ship.
Yes.
That could be either another Empire or Scoundrel or some other faction. My bet would be Scoundrel, but we'll see, because we've got the Geonosians, which are rather useless as ships as well. And only Boba really as a Scoundrel is a good ship. has a good ship, right? So that would be the first step for me. And then we could have some extra ships.
Yeah, I think it's time, man. I swear we need to be able to farm these ships. Good Lord.
Yes.
I think the last couple territory battles that I in for my team in TI, we all had Kylo Ren's ship and the Reapers. Like, really?
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
I think it's the same everywhere.
It's awful.
You know, before territory battles, we used to just farm what we actually wanted to farm, and now we see we need it all.
Yeah.
Which is fine if you can find a place to farm it, but not fine if you have if you kind of took the wrong decision like 6 months ago not to buy the packs.
Yeah.
You can't change that anymore.
No. Oh, good points. All right, Mikey, you're up, Mr. Mike Hunt. We've got two questions kind of linked together here. One is from Mydrin Emery's and from DB. Mydris asks, BB8 needed for first order. Will BB9 needs resistance? That was his question. And DB's question was, do you think we will need resistance for BB9 with the next movie, i.e. flipped event for BB8? What do you think about that?
I think that's quite sound logic. I mean, we've got the next, was it The Last Jedi coming out, which is going to be First Order and Resistance. So yeah, I think that they're going to feature heavily. Chances are there will be new characters come out, pad them out a bit. Because at the moment, we've got 87 Rebels, 20 Empire, and then everyone else is quite narrow in options. It's either 5 or 6, isn't it? So yeah. But I think yes.
Awesome.
Mikey, say yes.
All right, and we have another question right back for you, Mike. This is from our boy Lucas Black. He says, Mike, how are your Nightsisters doing? Same as mine, probably.
My Nightsisters, you see, I actually ran a Sarge Ventress for a couple of months in Arena.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm just having a look. My Nightsisters...
Back before we got B2, Asajj Ventress was the only way to really do an AoE dispel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a Gear 11 Asajj, I've got a Gear 10 Oldaka, a Gear 9 Talia, and Acolyte and Initiate are both Gear level 7, and they're all 7-star. Ooh.
Well, look at you, Will.
Yeah. well, they all count towards your GP, don't they? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. One of the Acolytes took ages. Coming back to just about Nightsisters, isn't one of the Acolytes one of like the second or third hardest hitting toon in the game?
Not that I'm aware of. No, I think they hit like.
No. They struggle to break through a paper bag, but on paper, one of them is up there.
I'm pretty sure it's Acolyte.
I mean,
I don't think it's Initiate.
Yeah,
it's just the base damage. I'm pretty sure it's like the base damage is the highest base damage, but her, I believe, crit chance multiplier is low enough that it doesn't actually equate to much, but the actual base damage is, I think, the highest in the game.
Mm. So, I mean, to me, it would be a case of, quadrupling their power or whatever, their hitting power, and I think they're going to be dodgy. I don't know anyone else, but whenever I kind of go against Nightsisters on Galactic War nodes, they're kind of Lumi-esque in their dodging. So
well, that's because they always get paired with a Lumi lead.
yeah, and of course we haven't mentioned the fact that I don't know whether Fulcrum will be tied in, but Ahsoka has a tie-in as well, doesn't she, with Nightsisters?
She does. I think
so there's a crossover thing there.
Yeah, her lead works with Nightsisters. I think it's an evasion lead for Nightsisters, if I remember it right.
And
regular
and anyone that's got a maximum fat would be laughing. Maybe that was especially for Bella.
I don't know if
What?
I don't know if
what did you say?
He said he called Fulcrum Ahsoka Tano fat again.
That's not nice. She's not fat. No, she's not.
No, it's just her outfit. I know.
Mike.
It's just her outfit makes her look fat. Oh my god!
It adds 20 pounds.
Yeah, it's 20.
Awful. Just awful. All right, let's go back to the top for Warrior. This is from Xylo Takedown, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Question: here with the new login character this month is Talia. Do we finally see Mother Talzin joining our tunes in the future?
Well, they are cryptic for sure in their messaging, and if you go back and look, they're really predictable. So when you see a login character, there's always been relevance to what to expect, which is why they gave you Captain Phasma, because she's the leader for the First Order, and the First Order was needed for something, right? So that's just how they work. So with Talia coming in, just think back to like February. Okay, February it was Kylo Ren, right? Kylo Ren, and then that Kylo Ren, and then that February he got reworked, and so did all of the First Order, and they got Zetas and some other stuff. So, I mean, if you put one and one together, it just traditionally always equals two. So, you don't have to know anything, and I don't. They have not. They're really been really good about not disclosing anything from us until we're getting closer. But I'm guessing that we're getting a Nightsisters rework in October, and that of course Talia is just a very popular. Most everybody gets. I mean, I think everyone gets her at the beginning of the game. I don't know any of my. Yeah, I think all my friends who are free to play are still like gearing her up to like gear 7 and 8 because she's still like the hardest hitter when you're like brand new. And so, if you're within 6 months of the beginning of the game, you're probably super stoked that you're getting a character that you want to finish. But I'm pretty sure that's indicative of a rework. And traditionally, if you go back and you look at patterns, the game has always had a pattern. And I belong to Mensa, so not to like brag on myself, but I'm like a patterns guy. So I see pattern and it plays out. They go reworks with two new, with like marquee events, and then they go with a new legendary character, then they go, reworks with some marquee events, and then they go a new legendary character. And that's the entire year has been like that. This new cadence, and they're really trying to create a cadence. It's even though they're not 100% sticking to it, for their own scheduling. For themselves more than anything, and then of course the players want this cadence as well for release dates and things like that, and so they just had a legendary event, and so this month, while they may add a couple legendary events that are recycling, like they mentioned as far as like Yoda and stuff and R2D2, and they may have some unannounced legendary events that get recycled like Thrawn, even though they didn't put it on the calendar. I still think that's a possibility. I'm pretty positive this month is the month for their reworks and then an addition of a marquee event. And the marquee event could be 1 or 3. I mean, every time they do it, if you look, Ewoks and if you go back to Sith and all the others that they've done, they bring out the marquee event times 3. And the first one is like a really awesome character that's at the end. So it'll be Mother Talzin at the end, is my guess. And then they'll have like 2 ads that they, just kind of no-namers like Sith Trooper, Sith Assassin, or, with Ewoks, it was really Wicket was the main attraction, right? But then it was Logray and Poplu, which were the kind of the lower level, like everybody got through the marquee events. So I'm guessing there'll be a couple of like no-namer type characters potentially. My hope, and I'm probably wrong, but I would love to see it, is a Dathomirian tag, so that way they could bring in Night Brothers, and then the Dathomirian tag would be added to Savage Maul. They could bring in 2 more Dathomirian Night Brothers, because there's actually some named Dathomirian
I think there's
brothers.
at least 2 or 3 other named ones.
Yep. And then what they would have is they would have the Night Brothers as a faction, the Nightsisters as a faction, and then all of them would also share a Dathomirian tag, and that would allow for you to have, you know, all the Nightsisters, Night Brothers, Mother Talzin, you know, Darth Maul, and it would leave it open for a second Darth Maul, which is the one with the robotic legs that Mother Talzin had fixed in the Clone Wars. I don't know if any of that'll happen. I'm just theorizing, but I'm pretty sure we'll get a Mother Talzin, and we'll probably see 2 more events for 2 other kind of lesser named characters to go along with her. And for the record, if anyone's getting caught up in this hype because of Talia and everybody theorizing that we're getting these marquee events, even if it's true, did anybody, you know, really get caught up in the Ewok hype? Probably not as much.
Yes,
as you think.
His name is Finn.
Vanity was really excited about it. Yeah.
People who are like stressing out, they're like, "My God, you know, we just had to do First Order." Blah blah blah. Listen, you guys, stay on track, stay on target. Do you
Loosen
do what
up.
is most important? If you're Resistance and you're going for Resistance for territory battles, stay the course, man. Don't let, you know, some Nightsisters get you distracted. Just do your best, and if your best doesn't unlock them, don't worry. In three months or so, you'll get them free to play, and you can farm them if you really want them. And the truth is, you probably don't want them, so it's no big deal. But if you're someone like me who has farmed them and kind of hoping for this type of rework, you know, it's going to be kind of exciting for those of us who have done that. I know there's a lot of people that really like Asajj, or, you know, really liked Old Daka. Old Daka and Royal Guard combined were the solution for Galactic War when I started. Like, you had to have Old Daka as the healer and the reviver and the stunner, and you had to have Royal Guard in the background to auto-taunt and to stun. And if you had those 2 behind you, you could put any 3 DPS in the front, and you'd go through Galactic War. But you had to have Old Daka. When I started, everyone said, get Old Daka now. And it was like, okay. And so I had her leveled out a long time ago. So it'll be nice to see them touch some dark side and to make them more viable. It'll be good.
Yes, I agree.
Is Lucy? What, Luce? I don't know how to pronounce it. Is she Nightsister? I just saw someone flashed up the other day that she's in SWGOH GG.
Oh, there's
as a character.
There's a couple of, and there's actually some male Nightsisters that are not Night Brothers. They're not the same species as Maul and Savage Opress. There's one of them. I'd have to go back and look.
Mother Talzin's in the game files as far as her name and stuff, and then there are a couple other like PvE characters that are in there. But I think Luce or whatever, I believe she's a scoundrel, isn't she?
I think so. Yeah.
Grimm's saying that she is a Nightsister.
That'll be cool, yeah. So, see, there you go. And actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a picture of all the Nightsisters, and she's to the right with them. If you go to, like, Wikipedia, what is it? Wikipedia?
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next question for the Riot Prisoner Extraordinaire, Ronde Patron, who's back. This is from Stanley Wren. And his question is, what is the most ideal Resistance team with BB8 for Galactic War?
Okay, so I think you got to keep the big 3 in there. You got to keep Finn Lead, Poe Dameron, and Resistance Trooper. It's the other 2 positions that you could kind of shift back and forth. My personal thought is that for the most missions, and I would say definitely missions that had a Commander Luke Skywalker lead or that had an R2 of their own, you're going to want to put an R2 on the team, and that means, and that reason why that is because you're not going to get retribution on you, because CLS is kind of a retribution lead, and once you're in stealth, you don't get hit. So from rebels with retribution. Then that leaves you with that 5th spot. So that 5th spot is either Rey, BB8, or Resistance pilot. If you want to keep the exposed train going, I think that you put in Resistance pilot. Resistance pilot has incredibly high potency. It is very easy to get Resistance pilot over 100% potency, which means that they're going almost all the time. So I think that it's very likely Resistance pilot. there is, some possibilities that you could put BB8 in that spot. And the reason why is because there's a lot of synergy with BB8 and Resistance. There's also a lot of synergy between BB8 and R2. I really think that Rey, for the most part, is the one that's left out, even though she's a high damage dealer. That team is based off of Expose, and both Resistance Pilot and BB8 doing Expose. And I think we're just gonna have to. You're just gonna have to kind of try to like see which one works the best for you. For right now, in all of my testing, it's still Resistance Trooper, because you're still waiting on that extremely long cooldown on BB8. But I leave it open for a possibility that's incorrect as we keep testing.
We will do some more testing tonight.
That's right.
All right, Darth Bella. Question: what do you think about changing the Zeta material challenge drop pool from 0 to 2 to 1 to 2 per run, so that people don't go on streaks of 0 Zetas for 2 to 3 weeks?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Well, the question is, why are you not paying attention to your master? My apprentice, why are you not paying attention? That is 5 minutes of timeout. I am not teaching you any more dark side for the day. You've angered me. So the question was, what do you think about changing the Zeta material challenge drop pool from 0 to 2 to 1 to 2 per run, so that people don't go on streaks of 0 Zetas for 2 to 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, that would be brilliant.
It would.
It would be brilliant, and I think that's a kind of bottleneck. But another bottleneck is Omega materials.
Oh, yes.
So these two are bottlenecks. So it would be really great if we could kind of win more of them, even if it's like an extra challenge or something. Yeah. Something you needed to do extra.
Yeah, I agree. Good Lord. It's so... it just is... It's just never ending. It's
because I could say that right away. I say that quite a few characters now, and I still got 80 Zetas left.
Good Lord.
But I don't have Megas.
Yeah, Loki was talking about that, how he is Omega poor. He has Zetas, but he has no Omegas. You can't do anything. It's so brutal. Yeah, CG, if you're listening, we'd like to see the drop rate increase just a little bit. Just a little bit. Going 3 weeks without being able to get a Zeta from the Zeta challenge is kind of rough, I think.
Yeah, it is.
All right, next question for Mike is from, I keep remembering some people's names. Cesar Rodriguez. And the question is, this is for Grande. I'll get you the next question, Mike. I didn't see that this had Grande in the name, so I'll get you the next one, Mike. Cesar Rodriguez asks Grande, how is Grande feeling with the Nightsisters rework? P.S. Dallas Cowboys rule. They do rule. Cesar, you're the best fan ever.
Okay, so I'm excited about the Nightsisters rework. Really excited about it. I've got them all, gear 10 or better. With Omegas on a bunch of them. I have not Zeted Asajj Ventress's unique, nor her leader, nor will I. I'm not going to do it in preparation, that's for sure. I hope they're great. I would love it if we saw a purely synergistic team that could take rank 1 as Nightsisters, and for like 3 days until somebody figures it out, I could just camp out at rank 1 with my OP Nightsisters. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. I think that they're going to be more in line with like a Phoenix squad, or they're going to be more in line with like a First Order squad with this rework. Now, that's a huge boost for Nightsisters. Nightsisters were effectively basically at the bottom of the barrel when it came to 5-character synergy squads. Ewoks do a better job than Nightsisters. Rebels and Jedi and Sith do a better job than Nightsisters. And I would like to kind of get Nightsisters into that First Order, full Sith team kind of comps, where you could actually maybe if you were not trying to be at the very top of an elite arena server. You could run them, or we could find some other game mode, Galactic War or something, where you could run a full Nightsister squad. I'd love that. But do I think they're going to be overpowered? Do I think we're going to end up with a Nightsister meta? Absolutely not. I don't see that coming. I see it as being kind of a fun, kind of secondary squad, something that it's neat to have and that you can kind of smile about, but nothing that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, we have to rush to get our Nightsisters together. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion.
No, you're never...
So you know what I think they'll do with them is I think they'll make them just like all of the recent reworks. So if you look at all the recent reworks, or the new characters, they're all built for PvE, and some of them shine in PvP, but most of them are built for PvE because 90% of the game, aside from Arena, is all PvE. Everything else you do is PvE. So I could see them being really, really viable in PvE and everyone ignoring them. And then in 6 months, them launching a dark side territory battle where they're probably going to shine as like one of the top 3 best teams for PvE because they'll have some sort of health and protection regeneration built in, and they'll be able to go through 6 of 6 on the 6th node, and everybody's gonna be like, damn it, we gotta get our Nightsisters up. This is so stupid. And people that were doing it
we
today,
should have listened to Grande.
Yeah, I think it'll be a PvE team that'll help with a dark side territory battle if that ever happens.
I agree.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Absolutely.
All right, Mike, your question. This is from Vanished Mind. Question: what is the ideal speed for bays under Commander Luke Skywalker lead, and what do you think about using Ezra under CLS?
Bays doesn't really need too much speed. You just want him taunting and countering constantly. So I'll go. My bays I think is running at about 147, which to me is on the quick side. But yeah. Personally, I wouldn't. All right, you get to use his AoE, his dispel, and so on. Obviously, the quicker he is, but
you want to time that use on that. You don't want to just
Yeah, because you're also gonna forego protection, health, and so on for that,
which is more important.
Definitely. Ezra, I like Ezra under CLS, but I've fought a really good one, and no, it's not. It's too squishy a squad, which sounds weird to say, but it is too squishy. But of course, there's something else that hasn't been mentioned yet. Is the coded Phoenix about to get Zetas, and I've seen a load of screenshots of their Zeta abilities, and Ezra is about to go through the roof on damage, I believe.
Yeah, which
will change things around a lot.
It's always changing.
Yeah, I've got it's actually level 85 now, all to count, and in my arena, I'm running a Wigs lead with Ezra, and that's quite effective because you've got the the assists and everything calling in, so everyone's kind of all your rebels are healing kind of as they go. Yeah.
All right. Back to the top to Warrior from Sanely Red. What do you guys think about R2 event coming back before the Thrawn event?
So
it makes sense to me, but go ahead.
So this was the original month that R2 was supposed to come out through the rotation, because they have that that rotation that they're doing with all the legendary events. It is a little bit convoluted now, whether it's a 2-month rotation or a 4-month rotation or what exactly they're doing with cadence, and I think it's all kind of loose. But this was the original month. The only reason why he had that shining moment with CLS was because it would be unfair kind of to not give everybody a chance at the one person that was needed for CLS that everybody may have missed out on the first time. So they brought it back kind of at a moment's notice for the player's benefit for CLS. But this was the original month. But the other thing is just because he's unannounced doesn't mean that, Thrawn isn't coming back. I mean, again, they're cryptic, and they put, they rise from the ashes, blah blah blah, and they face a similar foe. Like, so that's Phoenix, obviously coming back to face a similar foe, and you would think, well, what's their foe? Well, it was Thrawn. They used basically the same messaging when they brought it out the first time. So I see that Thrawn will be coming. They're just doing it unannounced because, listen, they're a business and they're smart. And a couple of things. One, do people get more excited about knowing it's coming or having it dropped as a surprise and boom, you get to do after you've waited 3 months in anticipation or 4 months in anticipation to have it surprise you? You know what I mean? Like, that's the reason why people do surprise birthday parties, right? So I'm not saying that Thrawn is definitely 100% going to be here this month, but I'm pretty confident that even though he's not on the list, that he's coming. So for everybody who's been preparing, just keep preparing. And if it's a birthday party that you want, you just very well may get it. And Thrawn very well may drop. But just remember, there's a lot of things that have happened in previous months that weren't on calendars. Like a lot. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? There was just like remember CLS? There was just a blank spot and everybody was like, how is this happening? When is it happening? It's not on the calendar. And then all of a sudden they announced it, put it on the calendar, and it was like, in a week kind of thing. And so, I think since they want people to focus on what they want them to focus on, they're going to put on the calendar what they want us to focus on. And then they'll drop the things that they want to surprise us with. But, who's going to work on Nightsisters if you realize that Thrawn will be coming back? You'll just keep on keeping on, right, instead of switching gears. And so, just stay on target on whatever you're doing, and don't get distracted. Don't look out the window. Look straight ahead.
Yeah, like Ronnie, like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Speaking of GP, the next question is for you, Grande. This is from Boone281. And his question is, do you think veteran Han and Chewie will get resistance tags eventually? And also, do you think we will get a First Order Flame Trooper that inflicts burning damage?
So, will veteran Han and veteran Chewie ever get the resistance tag?
Or as we like to refer to them as Viagra Han.
Viagra Han and Viagra Chewie. Probably not. No. The devs have actually said no, that they're not going to get that tag. So I don't see it ever.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
The next one about, are we going to get a First Order
Flame Trooper? I actually have that character that I bought, the toy for. So
I think we're going to get a whole slew of First Order and Resistance characters with this new movie.
Yeah.
You've seen a new type of like Red Royal Guard. I think it's called like the
Royal Guard. Yeah.
Praetorian Guard or something. I can't and then we're gonna get probably 2 or 3 more types of troopers. I think it'll be similar to how we have a bunch of different troopers for the Empire. I think there's some kind of like an executioner First Order trooper with he has like an axe looking thing, only for the blade of the axe it has like a electronic looking like lightsaber thing that connects 2 points. I mean, I think you're going to see all kinds of cool stuff for the First Order. I think that there's a couple of other generals that we could get that kind of have a similar, and I think the reason why they're not in the game right now is because I think it'd be hard to differentiate them from First Order officer, because they kind of look kind of plain like that. And so, we already have enough trouble as it is at one point figuring out the difference between CLS and Farm Boy Luke, and I don't think they want to go down that same road again. So they're looking for characters that look different in the game, and we can have different abilities with them. But I would like to see maybe a First Order, and of course they have months and months to do this, but let's say they kind of continue on this same path of releasing somewhere between 3 and 5 characters a month. So anytime between October and let's say the end of March, that we could get between 3 and 5 new First Order characters, I think it'd be great. And it also would give you the ability to have this same discussion that we're having about Resistance. Right now we've got a minimum of 2 players that are off the Resistance team. If you want to go with a full synergy squad, and I think it would be an interesting conversation to have that same discussion about First Order, about, you know, do I keep Kylo Ren, or maybe we have two different leader abilities with Zetas, you know, and Phasma's the advantage leader, and maybe the other one is some kind of a counter leader, and you can have some different conversations about which team do you play and which team do you not.
Yeah, it's a great point. All right, next question is for Darth Bella. This is from our boy Grim, and he said, did you notice that some Australians and those in October right now had TFP showing as a login of the month? I did not know this. Did you know this, Bella?
No, I haven't heard. Who's the next login character, actually?
It's Talia.
Yeah, it's Talia.
Now he's saying that
it's a glitch.
Is a glitch?
It's a glitch. They're going to fix it.
Yeah.
It's last year's calendar. They're accidentally dropping TIE Fighter Pilot, which was the October login last year. So they're going to fix it.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's kind of a... Oh, we'll answer that one. So let's give Bella another question here. These are kind of the same questions, Bella. One's from Randolph Thrain, and his question is, with R2 event coming back, does that mean CLS is coming back sooner rather than later? And Raza972 kind of had the same question. Do you think the return of R2-D2 soon means that CLS is coming back also? Do you think CLS is coming back soon, Miss Bella?
No, I don't.
Oh,
I would agree with that.
Because they have to have rare events. I mean, we will be able to get R2-D2 again. There's new people starting the game, so they have to get Yoda. Then you have Emperor Palpatine event. Then you have, what was the next one? That was R2-D2 maybe? I don't know. Can't remember. And then Thrawn, and now CLS. So that is 5. Were there more than 5? I think 5 of this type of events.
I think like, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it's 5.
Yeah, so I think the latest one, and that is CLS, should be more rare than the other ones. I mean, there's still many people who have Thrawn just at level 5 because they didn't think it was really fun to gear Phoenix, and they didn't want to gear Phoenix, and now with territory battles, they have no choice but to build them up and gear them. So they will be longing for the next Thrawn event.
All right. Mike, you're up next, and this is from Dustin Tinybrick, and he says, question, I need arena advice. Is it better to Zeta R2-D2, so RZDZ already have number crunch? R2 is part of a CLS Chase R2-D2 OG Han team, or Zeta Fulcrum and drop Raid Han until he has more stars. His OG Han is at 5 stars.
Did he say Fulcrum?
He says, should he add a Zeta Fulcrum and drop Raid Han until he has more stars? Or should he... Because OG Han's at 5 stars. Or Zeta Fulcrum and drop Raid Han until he has 5 more stars. He's asking, says he needs a arena advice, period. He says, is it better to Zeta R2-D2? So he already has number crunch, so he would have R2-D2 fully done.
What was that combat analysis?
Yeah,
or whatever?
as part of as you know, or part of, and he's part of a CLS Chase R2 OG Han team. He wants to know, should he or do Zeta Fulcrum instead of Raid Han as well?
See, my advice would be to also factor in territory battles and what's going to enhance that as well. Mm-hmm. Obviously, your arena is important because it's your source for crystals. However, your territory battle also rewards you crystals, although admittedly it's over 6 days at the moment. I'm trying to remember whether I ever actually ran an OG, a 5-star OG, because he's still going to hit hard. He's one of those characters that, and you're going to have some certain features with him. Can you Zeta him at 5-star?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just level 85, isn't it? It's a tricky one.
I would say I'd say keep Raid Han.
Yeah, keep Raid Han and look. I'm tempted to say do the R2 second Zeta because that's
over the Raid Han.
For the moment, yeah. I mean, if he's still got 185 odd stars to get, I mean, he'll have the Zetas again by the time that he's 7 stars him. If he's parking him up for the moment, yeah, that would be. And I just think that R2's got so many applications that it's just going to enhance wherever you use him.
I agree. All right. Next question back up top to Warrior. This is from Swamp Donkey 214. Is Territory Battles going to the Nightsister planet? The next one?
Nobody knows that.
I don't think it would be. I mean,
Dathomir would be a really cool one, and then have it kind of like the clones invading and Nightsisters repelling, and you'd have to basically fight through a bunch of clone, to take back Dathomir, and that would actually that would be pretty fun. The other thing is it would stay true to their build because with Hoth, you have to repel and fight back the Empire. And what's funny about that is, the Empire overtook that base.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they're going to do like either.
But in territory battles, we overtake it. And so, we know if you know the story of Dathomir, like they were overtaken by clones, or not by clones, droids.
Genocide comes to mind. Yeah, they were wiped out.
And so I could see it being a dark side with having to fight the droids and stuff. It's just, I don't know. It would be an interesting planet to go to. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be a cool one. I think either the Battle of Jakku would be a cool one, or they could do Endor from Return of the Jedi. Yes, the Empire loses, but then again, as you just mentioned, they switched the Archon with the Battle of Hoth, so I'm sure they could do that with Dark Side. Because there's a lot of possibilities they can go with the Dark Side route. I wouldn't be surprised if they did have Dathomir on there. All right, next question for old Pappy Petroni. This is from DB, and his question is: when the devs talked about Nightsisters rework, they mentioned reworking General Grievous at the same time. Do you think they will hold off General Grievous till later after suspected Nightsister rework?
General Kenobi. So I think you've heard a lot from the devs about the lament about a droid team not really working the way that they wanted them to anymore. And you can kind of see that a little bit in some of the abilities that BB8 has. BB8 has droid synergy as well as having resistance synergies. And so I think that what they're looking for at a certain point is a fully droid squad that doesn't rely on the Jawas, which means that you'll probably end up with some kind of a separatist rework that focuses heavily on the droids at some point. Of course, timing is everything. And just because the devs want to do something doesn't mean that they're able to do something. It may be because it conflicts with characters they need to bring in for the new movie. It could be conflict for a whole ton of reasons. But I would definitely say it's on their radar. The other thing is that General Grievous is one of the hardest characters in the game to gear, and he's also one of the hardest characters in the game to obtain at 7-star. And so I do think that you can see how they reworked Raid Han, how they reworked some of these other characters that are really hard to obtain. And so yeah, I do see that at some point we are going to get a droid / Grievous / separatist type rework, but it could be February or March before we see it. So I wouldn't hold my breath on it for sure.
Okay. Next question for Darth Bella. This is from Chris J. It says, you guys and gals are awesome and fun to listen to. Well, thank you. That's probably all them, not me. So my question is, if you were CGEA, would you like to bring into the game, who would you like to bring into the game from Legends or Canon? Oh, Darth Bella. If you can bring anybody in from Legends or Canon, who would you want to bring in? I think we'll go around the corner on this one, too.
Ooh. There's so many.
You only get to pick one, Bella. You can't say 20 characters. You only get one.
Wow. Wow, 20 characters, that would be...
No, you don't say one. Don't go down that path, Bella.
I'm just trying to think and to, I don't, I think
hard,
if I was EA, I would think differently than if I was Bella, which I am, right?
Well, I would hope so, right? I mean, let's not do any paradoxes here, Bella, all right? This is a normal show.
I think I wouldn't want to bring the fifth incarnation of Han Solo in.
No. Legends are canon. Somebody that's not even in, I mean, let's think Legends.
New.
Who would you want to bring in, say, Legends?
I haven't read, I didn't start reading the Old Republic stuff yet, but I heard people definitely who know this stuff better that they would want some characters from there. I heard Revan mentioned a lot.
That's right. Good choice, Bella. That's why you're my apprentice.
Darth Revan, that would be awesome.
He's an interesting character, I believe.
He's an amazing character.
Yeah. Also the good side and dark side, the light side, dark side struggle. You see all of this there.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for another character like Agnor, which is not. Which doesn't have a faction anymore.
What? No, Bella. No, so you've ruined the question. Oh, okay. You're on another timeout. Okay. How dare you? I'm putting you with Finn.
No, I don't want him or a character like him. But he's the only one. No, not Finn. I was talking about Agnon. The thing is, I believe he's the only character which has no tag, dark side or light side. Is that correct?
I thought Ugnaught was light side.
I think he is.
Yeah, he must be light side. But he has no other faction, right? That was what was special about him.
I think this is what light side support.
Coruscant Underworld Police, I think, is the same way, right?
Mm.
No, that has Galactic Republic even.
Oh, wow.
So, maybe it's just Ugnaught.
Oh, it's just Ugnaught.
All right, we've talked about Ugnaught a lot. I want to get back to this question. Bella, you've written this. What have you done? Let's go around the corn. Grande, who would you like to see?
Who would I like to see put in the game? Well, she already picked Revan.
There's a ton more. I got quite a few I'll name, but go ahead. I'll give everybody a chance before I start naming names.
Which I think... I'd like to see Jango Fett. I know that's that's canon, but I'd like to see a Boba Fett, Jango Fett kind of synergy going on, where you have two Mandalorians and they both are bounty hunters, and maybe there's some kind of Wedge Biggs or Chase style synergy between a father-son team.
There you go. I like it. What about you, Warrior?
Sorry, I had you muted for a second. I was doing something else. What was the question? I
apologize. The question is if canon legend character you'd like to see brought into the game.
Not sure. The only person really that's not in the game now that I'd like to see added to the game, aside from those that we already know are probably on their way, would probably be Darth Revan.
Yes, good. Yeah,
because I'd like to see... I'd like to see neutral characters instead of just light and dark side. But
I like it. Let's Mike. Any suggestions before I start rambling off names?
Sinister was the one I was thinking of. I'm just thinking he'd have pretty funky graphics with his spinny saber and whatnot, and he's kind of like. That would kind of fit in as possible if Phoenix start getting all these Zetas as the opposite of them or the answer to them.
Very nice. Yeah, there's quite a lot of characters that can bring in. Grandi mentioned bounty hunters. We can bring in Bosk, some other
Ranger. The question asked for one. We don't need a list of 20. If Bella's going to be a timeout with me, I got her back. No.
Hey, no, Ewok lover, shut your hole. I already said I was going to list up quite a few. So,
question after one.
Hey, if you don't want to be social and participate, then you shut your cake hole. Interrupt me while I'm trying to live my dreams here. Of course, Revan was mentioned. That's a good one. I think one group that I think would be really cool to get in there. I mean, you can go Old Republic, you can go all kinds of stuff. But I'd like to see, since they've already got Darth Nihilus in here, let's bring in the Sith Triumvirate. Let's get Traya and Skyon in there.
Ooh.
You know, form that team up. You know, with the Revan, as you know. I mean, good Lord, you can bring Bastille Sean and some other ones in and really get that Old Republic feel, you know, because you could add HK-47 to as part of Revan's crew with the Sith Triumphant and Malik, you know, so I think that would be a way they can go to form a new kind of faction of the Sith or something like that. There's a lot of ways they can go. Yeah.
Can I add, just as for Smithy D, Jedi Luke.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, no one's mentioned Jedi Luke, and I'm like, oh, Smithy, if he's listening to this, he's going to be tearing his hair out.
He's going to be screaming, isn't he? Jedi Luke, Jedi Luke.
Jedi Luke.
Fine, I'm going to say Wee-Chi because that's the brother of Wicket.
Nobody likes you, Finn.
I don't care.
Is he related to C-3PO?
I don't know, Finn, would you want to see a C-3PO added to your Ewok faction?
After Wee-Chi.
So we have to... Oh, Jesus. The Ewok expert has spoken, and I stand before you, a broken and bitter man. All right, next question from Mydrin Emrys. Who is on the next? Oh, Bella's next. Emery's, and his question is, best timeout team. He suggests General Kenobi with Hermit Yoda, Zeta Barris, Commander Luke Skywalker, and Thrawn. What are your thoughts on that team as a timeout team, Miss Darth Bella?
GK, Hermit Yoda?
Mm-hmm. With Azaris, Commander Luke Skywalker, and Thrawn as a timeout team.
And the last one was who?
Thrawn.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I thought a team, but I can't remember who was there instead of Hermit Yoda. I think it could be, yeah, it could work, but not a specialist on timeout teams.
It has potential. I mean, with Hermit Yoda, and I mean, General Kenobi and Zaris is already a pain in the ass already. Add a Hermit Yoda in there, oh my good Lord!
And that with Zaris is
oh yes, oh yes. I think that would be a pretty damn good team. I gotta say, but getting Hermit Yoda is a whole nother story. So good luck. All right. All right, Mike. Next question is for you, and this is from Xylo Takedown, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. He said, let's skip October. With what's coming with Rebels Season 4 about to begin, Battlefront 2 release, then Episode 8, that could be so many new tunes. What's the future going to be for us? Will they release more Empire? Would the Inferno Squad have more than one character release? What do you think, Mike?
I think, yes, there will be hundreds more tunes released over the longevity of the game.
One would hope.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll go in a direction of starting to build up the dark side again, because it is such a disparity right now between light side and dark side?
I think they'll have to be able to have any kind of reasonable dark side territory battle. I mean, the logic would dictate that the initial one is light side, therefore the next one will be the polar opposite. And you're going to need, you know what's going to happen. Everyone's going to have to stick their Vaders, their Mauls and whatnots and Thrawns all into platoons. So we're going to need Nightsisters, Scoundrels, First Order, all of them to expand, and also to have realistic, viable expansions. You know, not just gap fillers. So, you know, tunes like, I mean, personally, I love Sith Assassin and Sith Trooper. All right, they may not be current meta, but you know, as kind of just no-named faction members, they're pretty awesome. So, you know, bringing in those 4 First Order, 4 Nightsister, you know, more Empire, I suppose, has quite a few already in all the troopers and so on. But yeah, no, I think there will be, logic would dictate, in my opinion, that yeah, there's going to be a heavy expansion.
I agree. Very well said, my friend. All right, back to the top to Warrior. This is from Thane Kyrell. Question: do you think we will get a General Hux and his resurgent Star Destroyer before or after the Last Jedi comes out as a I guess capital ship? Would be that? What do you think about them as another ship bringing in General Hux's Star Destroyer from Force Awakens?
You know, I'd love to see other ships come into the game really bad, because I actually am one of the few that enjoy ships, but there are so many other ships that need to come in first that haven't made their way in. So I'm kind of surprised that you know, that they haven't brought a few more ships over the last few months. And I know that they're focused on other things right now, but I don't think so. I think if we get Hux, it'll be just Hux. And I think it'll be part of a kind of a push with a few characters, you know, like a marquee type event where you get 3 new characters at 3 stars and you get to just play with them for a few months before you can farm them. So I think that's probably how he's going to come in. I would love to say he's going to bring in a ship, but so should have CLS, and I mean, so should have the Geonosians, you know, should have, you know, General Grievous should have his ship. I mean, there's so many other capital ships that could be before, but who knows? You know, anytime there's a push with a new game, this game actually respawns accordingly with some new characters that are from that other game, especially when it's EA to EA. So, you know, we'll probably see that. All
right, and Grande has been pulled away, so we'll go to you again, Warrior, and then Bella. So, Warrior, next question. This is from Comb Cobra. It's a 2-part question. General Kenobi is gear 11. Barris is gear 10. Would a Z Barris still work as a deterrent from people attacking me? General Kenobi with a Zeta Barris, Darth Nihilist, Sword Trooper, and a 5th. Thrawn, maybe. Something besides somebody light side. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, Thrawn and Short Trooper combined is just a really irritating combination to go against, especially when Thrawn is not the leader, because he's going to continually use his cleanse for, you know, everybody's going to be using their cleanse, you know, if he's the leader. So if he's not the leader, he'll be more effective. And it is an effective team to kind of deter people, because while it's beatable, a lot of people get frustrated with that particular team comp. It's irritating to have to fight for 3 full minutes, which is funny. I mean, I take everything like a chess match, and you know, you're trying to dismantle that team and use tools and figure out which tools you need and stuff. So, you know, if he wants to frustrate the 80% of people, then that would be a valid team. But for the other 20%, they're still going to beat it because it's a very beatable team.
All right. And next, well, I think we kind of answered this one already. Keyboard, I'll just answer this one real quick. What kind of maps do you think will be cool for the future territory battles? I think we listed a whole bunch. You can do Dathomir, you can do Endor, you can do Jakku. You could maybe do, I don't know. I mean, there's a cadre list, but I think we hit that question already. All right, Bella, Chris, the next question is from Chris Heidi. And he says, question, do you guys think Gear 8 7-star Empire team consisting of Grand Moff Tarkin, Royal Guard, Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, and TIE Fighter pilot is strong enough for R2 event? What do you think about that, Miss Bella?
The second one was...
So it's Grand Moff Tarkin, Royal Guard.
Yeah, I got him.
Royal Guard.
Okay. Yeah, I got the other ones. Just Royal Guard was missing.
Right.
Gear 8.
7 stars.
8. Yeah. I think this. Yeah, it depends on your mod. You know, if you take your arena mods, then you can probably try it with that one. And as usually, the way I do and I go forward in this kind of events is that I try the event, especially if I don't want to build up a certain faction and just use the faction to get another character, right? So I try and see how far I get, and then I play again and again because it's RNG as well. And if I can't get on further, then I start to build up or just swap with my arena mods.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I remember with the RT event, I had all Gear 10 or higher tunes with all 5-star mods. I didn't have God mods on, but it took me a couple times to beat it. So
I mean, you must see, Ranger. When we did the R2D2 event, there was an Empire meta. So for most people, it was real easy to get R2D2.
Yeah.
But if someone is newer and wants to get R2D2 now, it's a fair question.
Yeah, it totally is.
Yeah, I think from another perspective, I would say that I would have 1 or 2 tunes upgraded further, especially ones you need for ships, maybe, because
Absolutely.
There's some very good pilots in there. So
TIE Fighter pilot, of course, absolutely. Darth Vader, of course.
Darth Vader, and even Tarkin. I mean,
yes.
So they are really good in more than one sense.
I agree. Very, very well answered, my apprentice. All right, Mike, you're up next, and this is from The Tour, and he has a question for the panel, but we'll go with you first. Do you guys still find territory battles fun and exciting? Mike, your thoughts first.
It's frenetic. It's when the guild comes alive. So, fun? I'm not sure. Fun? I think there's personally, I put a lot of pressure on myself to, max everything I possibly can. Because everything you do, unlike a raid where it's kind of like, you're gonna do it and it's just your own personal rewards, whereas for the territory battles, everything you do is a collective over an individual. But I do like the rewards, I must admit. I'm enjoying all these new shop tokens, and perhaps the rewards that we've had gear-wise haven't dropped as favourably as we'd hoped, seeing screenshots of people getting fully crafted pieces in their rewards. But it seems to have it's reinvigorated. Everyone was getting quite well. In my perspective, or from my perspective, everyone was getting kind of meh. I can't be bothered. I'm not getting, everything's the same, and this kind of throws an intense period into the game. So it's keeping everything fresh. Everyone's working on everyone. So yeah, long way round. Yes, I still get excited about territory battles and enjoy them.
All right. Warrior still enjoying territory, still excited. Same question to you.
Yeah, I enjoy territory battles. It's something new. It gives me something additional to do each day. And the kind of the side effect of territory battles for me was, I know this is going to sound crazy to everybody that's listening, but I had maxed out resistance. I had maxed out clones, but because I rarely ever am on when they do raids, I almost never get to use those teams. I actually pretty much never get to use those teams, which is crazy. But so I've got this resistance team, and I didn't have the Zeta on Finn, I was planning on it. I had him at 7-star, gear 11, 85, ready to go. Just needed to pop the Zeta. But every time I'd have a Zeta, it was like, oh, I gotta do this one for Arena. Oh, I gotta do that one for Arena. And so I just kept delaying it. And then Territory Battles came out, and I was like, all right, I gotta bite the bullet. So I did the Zeta on the Resistance, and then I'm like, oh crap, now I have to actually understand the mechanics behind how they get turn meter with the expose, popping the exposes, blah, blah, blah. What about if you go against a Rex lead and he cleanses and all of a sudden he's got nasty up, you're not going to land your expose, so you got to target him, and, stunning counter chant or counter target characters. And so there's all these dynamics now that you have to learn for a team. And so basically it's actually made me want to play Galactic War now, whereas Galactic War was kind of boring, because now I can run my territory battle teams through Galactic War and practice for territory battles, practicing my reset of my cooldowns, my maximizing my turn meter before the next round, practicing popping exposes, and how to get around, tenacity up, or how to get around countering characters, who's consistent on my team, which stun works better, blah, 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 blah. So for me, territory battles, even though it's fun in and of itself, it actually made Galactic War far more fun for me than it was before. So that's kind of an unintended side effect that I'm super happy about, because I think Galactic War, for the most part, was kind of a chore. It was just something I did. I knew I could get through it, but it was just something that was like, especially the days when you stack 2 of them and you got to do 24 nodes, you're like, oh my gosh, that's going to be forever today. And now it's like, oh yeah, I got 2 stacked. I'll be able to do Phoenix and I'll be able to run Resistance and practice with both those teams. So, I mean, for me, it's infused a little bit more excitement into practicing with teams I didn't traditionally use often.
Makes sense. All right, and then back to the top to you, Warrior. This is from Noah McClanahan. He says, who's y'all's favorite character? Finity says Wicked. Wait a minute. Finity, did you throw that in there?
No, that's an actual question, but I added that mine is Wicked. I believe everyone should know that my favorite character is Wicked.
I'm sure nobody knew that before. Good Lord.
So, obviously, my favorite character in the game right now is Han Solo, and I actually joined Team Instinct for the sole purpose a year and a half ago because they wouldn't let me in until I had a decent roster, so it took me 6 months or whatever to get a roster well enough. But I joined Team Instinct with the sole purpose of unlocking Han Solo, and when I got in, I was so excited to be able to unlock him. And then right when I got him, right when I maxed him out, right when I was ready to use him, auto taunts came into the game, and it was like, so he went from being like amazing to can't use him. So when they reworked him, and now he's just crazy. He's going nutso in Arena. It's super fun to watch. Even people that use Rex leads, people are like, oh, well, it feeds a ton of turn meter. Yeah, well, you can't use the turn meter when you're dead. So, it's one of those things where when he's hitting for 35K and then he's hitting immediately later for 20K and 10K, and it's 60-something thousand, and he's taking Thrawn out in one turn. You're like, yeah, okay, I'm excited. So he's my favorite in-game character, but my favorite character that I know is got to be coming would be a Force wielder Rey or Jedi Rey. I'm not sure she's going to hold the tag of Jedi. I think she's going to be more of just a Force wielder.
Well, Luke did say the Jedi. It was time for the Jedi to end. So who knows?
Yeah,
maybe she'll be a Bendo. We don't know.
Yes, yeah, something like that. But a Force wielder.
It would definitely be a Force. Yeah, I like that answer.
And I think Rey. I think it would be cool. And then it would be really fun if they could create some more. Unique abilities where like maybe Anakin had it and she had it, and I think a few other the major Force wielders, where basically they can push or pull characters in the actual game where you see them being sucked into the middle and then thrown back, and then they like get stunned, so it actually animates their bodies to come forward and then go backwards real hard, and then they all get stunned or something. I think something cool like that, like a Force ability being animated, would be fun.
I agree. All right. Favorite character real quick, Bella? Who's your favorite character?
It's, of course, R2D2.
R2D2.
And no, BB8 won't change that.
I gotcha. And Mike, your favorite character?
I love Zam.
Okay.
I think she's as mad as a box of frogs.
All right. There you go. All right. Next question for Bella. It's from Keyboard, and she wants to know: Do you have any fully crafted gear 12 pieces yet?
Yes, I actually do. I have, what is it called? I think it's called Met Pack. And it gives like 6,250 health to the character. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was quite a good deal. So I started collecting that one. And I just realized that you don't need only gear 12 pieces, but also some other pieces. And finally I found them and I could put it on Commander Luke Skywalker.
Very nice.
And see, I didn't put it on R2D2. He needs it as well. But I had to kind of think who to give it first to, because I don't have so many pieces yet. It's only one.
There you go. It takes a while to get them. Next question for Mike. This is from DB. Question: Why can't we replay the legendary event after we 7-star them? They should let us replay them like Assault Battle for some salvage mats and replay the content. What do you think about that with the legendary events? Once you do it, that's it.
100% agree that allowing us to, I mean, there's other things that we can play over and over again, and the rewards on them are pretty pants at the moment. So why not just downscale all the rewards and at least allow us to have that fun again? Although the Palps one is pretty boring, because that literally is just the one battle, isn't it? Once you've unlocked Palps, I think you just do the one battle against 14 Royal Guards of Vader and Palpatine himself. No, I 100% agree. It would be lovely to have that. They're mean. They're not allowing us to enjoy it over and over again.
Gotcha.
So I believe they're working on that. I think that they've heard everyone loud and clear that people want to have replayability on those events. I'm sure it's just a logistical situation where they're trying to figure out the logistics of it, to try and figure out exactly how to make that happen. So my guess is what'll end up happening at some point is they'll basically create a clone event of the old event, and so it'll actually be a new event, but it will act and function identically. And the new event will have some just basal rewards, like, maybe some credits and some gear or something like that. And then the original one will be the one that actually is for the character. And so they've just got to come up with a way to tag, once you've completed it, so that particular event doesn't come back and the new one comes back. And they could launch the legendary events to everybody for the gear portions. It's just, it would be confusing to people who are like, oh, Emperor Palpatine's coming back, and then they get some gear and they're like, what the heck? And they're like, oh, that's a replay. That's not actually the original. And they look identical, basically. And so, I don't know. I think it's more of a logistical situation more than, I don't think they're mean and going like, no, you can't play that. I think it's that they're just, it's a logistical nightmare. And for anybody that's not in the industry, I don't think people fully understand how absolutely complex something like this is. I mean, when I was at Capital Games, I mean, they have an entire monster army of people that are working around the clock trying to make this thing happen for everybody. It's not like 3 developers sitting in a room, twiddling their thumbs going, "Woo, ha, 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 ha." You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there are rooms upon rooms of people just jammed in like sardines, working on game balancing and working on artistic creation and working on sound production and working on, I mean, this is like an army of people. So to be fair, I mean, we're always really pretty critical, right, of the developers in every other area of the game. So with this one, I am going to have to, kind of support them a little bit and just tell them, like, this is something they've heard us, but logistically, it's going to take a little bit.
Gotcha. All right, next question for you, Warriors from Keyboard. What do you think is the best way to increase your galactic power?
Well, it's just by developing your characters. I mean, that's the bottom line. But the fastest and cheapest way is to get your characters up to level 50. By leveling them up to level 50, I think it takes roughly around 400,000 credits. So for 400,000 credits, you get the largest boost of galactic power of anything. So if taking all of your unlocks and unlocking them and paying the credits to get them to however stars you can get them is the second best way, and then leveling them up to at least level 50. I would start out taking every character you own, unlocking them, make sure they're unlocked so you get credit for them, and then taking them all to level 10, and then that's going to cost you almost nothing. I mean, I think even all the best free-to-play can easily do that. And then once you've got them all to level 10, then take them all to level 20, and then take them all to level 30, and then 40, and then 50. And then after 50, do it like take them all to 51, then take them all to 52, take them all to 53, and just slowly progress every character up, because the absolute biggest jump in your galactic power is going to be that. Gear helps a lot, but it doesn't help as much, and their abilities help too. So get everybody's abilities. If you're free to play, especially, you've got like 5,000 of the green and 5,000 of the get every character's abilities up to level 3, because just leveling those abilities up, even if you'll never use those characters, you're not going to miss those ability mats, and that's going to significantly boost your character's GP as well. So those are the two best things. Get them to level 50, farm them even if you don't want them. Farm them if you're not farming other characters that are important. Like if you're in the arena store and there's nothing else in the arena store you want, start farming every other character until you have every character 7 stars, even if you're never going to use them, just so you can get that extra GP.
Very good. All right, next question for Bella. This is from our boy Captain Blackbeard. Question: how should you mod BB8?
How should you mod BB8? I actually haven't done that yet. So if any of you has did that, it's probably better you answer that, because I just had to have a quick look for his abilities. Can someone else maybe?
Mike, what do you think? How should you mod BB8?
I don't know why I stuck crit damage, crit chance on him to start with.
Interesting.
I've only used him so far in in 2 Galactic Wars, and I had a brain melt last night and switched it all around, and now he's running 6 potency. But that's just for me to track my potency mods better. Yeah, speed.
Speed is important. Yeah,
speed. Yeah, you just want speed, and the rest of it seems to work okay. I think I went crit damage, crit chance just to get that tenacity down. Because that's on his basic, isn't it? Which is a really good one. And okay. Crit damage, crit chance, secondary speed.
All right, we'll go back to you, Bella, for the next question, since I gave that one to Mike. Keyboard asks, is there any character that you don't want to see in the game?
Misa.
Little Eddie!
I mean, a character that is in the books, or a character
any character that you just, no matter whether it's legend, canon, the movies, you don't want to see them in the game.
I don't want to see them in the game.
Yeah.
I can't think of any, because I think
you can't think of any? No, you can't even say Jar Jar? Oh, you must love
you're right. I forgot about Jar Jar.
Oh, you forgot me.
You saved me.
I think Bella really loved me.
Oh, I spoke.
I think I would get I would become crazy if they added Jar Jar and he would start talking or something. I think then people would stop playing
Misa like
heroes, and it would not be good for the game.
No, I don't know. Some people would disagree. Anybody else? Characters in the game that you don't want to see ever?
Wicket's brother.
Oh.
You die right now. Just go somewhere and die.
You die. He could have hell and you die.
He died. Well, he can't join then, can he? Is he going to be a ghost? Ooh.
That's probably how they're introducing Han.
What I don't want to see in the game is another Han Solo. I think we're good.
No, I think we need Carbonite Han to complete the Pentagon.
You know we're going to get young Han. He's getting his own movie. There's no way that they're not going to cash in on that one.
Oh, no.
I know, and then they'll actually they might as well, they got 4. They might as well add 1 more, so there's 5. I mean, at this point, it's kind of comical, but, yeah, I don't know. I don't think we need another.
Oh, my God. All right, the next question. We'll go back to Warrior. This is from Devil's Treasure. Idea on a potential new HK-47 Zeta leadership upgrade. Their thought is critical hits from droids can't be prevented and do not trigger on critical hit effects. What are your thoughts on this?
It's a logistical nightmare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it would be better to say that all droids don't crit, but do 10 times their base damage or something like that. It's easier to mechanically build than trying to create loops that go around existing mechanics. I think that it would be better just to say, kind of like Darth Nihilus, people can't heal except for Health Steal kind of thing that's programmed in. I think it'd be better just to say they don't crit, because then all of the crit mechanics wouldn't apply. And now all droids do, 20 times their base damage or something crazy. So they're all hitting for like 30k, but it's all base damage that's not crits. That's how to make them viable again, because then they're hitting for non-crits. They're not triggering any of the meta-type abilities like Rex or GK or Varys, and they're hitting for 20 to 30k, and you put a tank or 2 with them, and man, that would just tear stuff up. So HK could have a Zeta that says, all the crit chance or something is converted to offense or something like that, and then program it in that way. I don't know. I don't know if putting in one mechanic is better than trying to usurp multiple other mechanics. Not sure. I'm not a game programmer, but sounds tough.
They could recycle Nihilus's lead, and effectively, like you say, they don't crit.
Yeah. Basically, when he's the leader, they don't crit, and give him 500% health steal or some crazy crap. You know what I mean? I don't care, but that would make them really difficult to beat, because you'd hit them, they'd be down to 1 red bar, and they'd counter, give them counter too, and they'd counter, and then they're back up to full health. They'd be like a turret. Yeah.
Do it. All right. Next question for Bella from Keyboard. She wants to know, Bella, this is very important. What's better, tea or coffee?
Yeah, that's a kind of question I don't like, because I'm a tea and coffee person.
Oh, well, you're going to be Switzerland to be neutral on this. Well, fine, Darth Bella.
But let me finish. But if I had to go for one, it would be coffee, definitely, because I can't survive without coffee.
That's right. See, I knew I could pull it out of you.
Yes.
Mike, tea or coffee? I think Mike had exploded with a question. Mike?
Coffee, please.
Okay. And Warrior, I think...
brown sugar.
Warrior, I'm pretty sure we're both coffee on this, right?
Coffee, yep.
Yeah. All right.
That's because we are all dark side.
That's right. We need our lattes before we kill. Let's see. Next question. Mike, you're up next. This is from Thane Kyrell. Question. General Kenobi can potentially get two Zetas. One for his leadership and one for his unique. After they rework Grievous, do you think they will give Kenobi his Zetas to counter him?
No.
No.
I think that just would make him too OP. I mean, you think how versatile, how good he is with 0 Zetas already. No, I don't think that's any. We're talking year and a half onwards, I would have thought. And unless everything gets a major boost, but even then, I reckon that Kenobi will pick up enhancements through whoever you pair him up with. For example, you put him with Azaris, and his effectiveness goes through the roof, sort of thing. No, I think that it just would be, that would be a 200% meta, wouldn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well, your next question for you from our boy MJ up in Minnesota. Question: pros and or cons to replacing Thrawn with General Kenobi in Arena, with Luke, R2-D2, Han, Zeta, and Old Ben are my remaining 4. Thought that might make for better defense. He says, thanks, peeps.
Yeah, so if you're running Han Solo, you're probably running against other Han Solos, and as much as I love Thrawn and I run him often in Arena, I think the crit immunity from GK is still better, and the disruptive taunt is still better than Thrawn. Although, if you can get Thrawn and GK on that team, and Old Ben, if Old Ben is Zeta, then Old Ben is better than General Kenobi. But if not, I would replace Old Ben. So it just depends. And what's up, MJ? What's happening? We talk every day.
It's right. He's from Minnesota. And he got his kitchen done finally, so now he's living the peaceful life. For now, until the next project comes up. All right. Who's next? Bella, you're up again. And Keyboard has another question. Oh, Lord, Keyboard. I think she... All right, Bella. If you could marry a Star Wars character, who would it be? Finity said Dr. Afra. Finn, quit interjecting. I think this is what these people are saying.
If I could marry a boy,
any Star Wars character.
You know what? I will have to finish all the books before I decide.
Oh, come on. Who do you have a crush on, Bella? Stop it.
That changes.
Who do you think is dreamy?
Yeah, actually, I'm a Rogue One fan, but I'm also a fan of the pilot. So I have a tough time making up my mind between them. I know lots of people say Han Solo, but I would go for either Cassian or Poe.
Ah, very nice. You like that European flavor. I like it.
Yes.
It's an accent.
Cassian is a real cutie, I think.
What about you, Warrior? If you could marry one person in the Star Wars galaxy here, or Star Wars universe, who would it be?
Force wielder Rey.
Oh, yeah. So good. What about you, Mike?
Resistance pilot. She's actually a supermodel. They force her to keep her helmet on so that she doesn't distract everyone too much.
Well, they could use that as a weapon against the Empire.
This is nah. They're more interested in missing with their blasters.
And if it was me, I would definitely say Jen. Jen, my girl.
And because he's on a phone call, I'll just give you Grande's answers. Mother Talzin.
Yeah. I mean, the old stick with the old. I mean, that's all I got to say. All right. So, next question for Mike from Keyboard. What would you think of having an Imperial probe droid in game with lots of synergy with snowtroopers? Well, that's an interesting thought. What do you think about that, Mikey?
I'm liking that. Advanced happy birthday for tomorrow, by the way, Keyboard.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'd rather see some sort of astro droid. The probe droid isn't an astro. What is it? I'm just trying to add.
It's a droid, but it's not an astro.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really annoying to play against, isn't it?
Mm.
That's kind of like what I try and target as fast as possible. Yeah,
I think it'd be cool to have synergy with the Snowtrooper. Makes sense.
Sound effects would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, also, yeah, it's very multi-purpose, isn't it? You know, when it's not fighting, it's bringing you your tea and coffee.
Oh, stop it. All right. Moving on from Mr. Potato Head to the answer there. All right. Next question for Warrior. Mydrin Emery says, question, with Rogue One team and territory battles, assuming Jin, Cassian, Chase, KTSO, who do you gear 12 first?
So what you get with Gear 12 is basically just a little tiny stat boost, you know, health and protection, just a little bit. It's not a whole lot, really. I mean, it's not what everyone thinks. It's just a tiny bit of, you know, basically a little extra durability. So the obvious first individuals are going to be your attackers, and then next support, and then next tanks. So first, your attackers, Jyn Erso, as well as Cassian. Cassian and Jyn Erso, though, on that team, I mean, they don't have to be Gear 12. So,
yeah,
you know, I would
fine.
Honestly, what I would say is, if you're looking for priority for Gear 12, go Arena team first, because every little bit helps, right?
Yes.
So you want every little bit you can get for your Arena team, and then once you have, you know, like the top 8 for Arena that you kind of vary through, or the top 10 that you vary through, once you have those top 10 to top 8, you know, Gear 12 popped over to Gear 12, then move over to all of your pilots that you're using in ships, because every little bit helps in ships as well. And I would focus on pilots. Those pilots subsequently will also help you in other areas of the game as well. So and so yeah, like I went to Darth Vader and finished him off, went to Gear 12, and it gave me an extra speed on his ship. And it's not a lot, but one extra speed is the difference between, you know, sometimes going first and not going first kind of thing. Same thing with First Order TIE Pilot and the Imperial TIE Fighter. And so I would recommend, you know, focusing on Arena teams, then focusing on your ships.
Yeah.
Territory battle teams don't need to be Gear 12 at all. As long as you have the right mods. I've seen people with Gear 9 Resistance, Gear 8 Resistance, but with really good mods, and they zip through all phases, all everything, because it has to do with mechanics and not durability. It has to do with mechanics. And so, you know, the gear becomes less important, mods become more important.
I agree. All right, Mike, next question from Cobra. Oh, Lord. If introduced into the game, how fast would you farm Slave Leia? Oh, my God. Well, I think... How fast would you farm for Slave Leia, Mike?
Very. Frenetically.
But that question is not after the question who we would marry. I mean, that is not very good afterwards. If you just married one and then you go.
Well, you can have a Harlem. You know, you can have this too, yeah. Bella. You can have a Harlem man. You can have Cassian and Poe Dameron.
Yeah, probably.
With a young Anakin on the side, you can do that, Bella. That's all right. See?
Yeah, that's all right.
I think all men in the game would probably farm Slave Leia like beast. Maybe some women too, like oh, Slave Leia. I mean, I'm just speaking just because men are dumb. God,
I don't know if you're reading the chat at all, Ranger, but yes, men are dumb.
Yeah.
Hey, something we haven't talked about. I want the whole panel to discuss this if it's possible. Are you okay?
That's the reason of the chat. We are dumb.
It is the new Rey that more than likely will be coming out in December.
You know, I just got her figured the other day. She's looking pretty. Yeah, she's making her run the money for my Jyn love addiction right now.
I mean, you know that she's going to go through all of that training, and she's kind of the star, obviously, of this. And then, of course, they do foreshadowing in this game. And for the R2 event, they had you for the R2 event, they had you use the characters that ended up needing to be needed for CLS. You had to go against.
Oh yes.
And so you for CLS because it was in the R2 event or whatever. And so as the people you had to go against. And so I'm thinking for Rey, you're probably going to have to rescue her or something like that. And the characters that you're going to probably need to rescue her will be, veteran smuggler Han and Chewie, because they're from that movie. That's why they got pushed so quickly, kind of abruptly, just like, oh, by the way, boom, 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 here's a couple new characters. And people are like, what? And they kind of dismissed it as, oh, these are for territory battles. But I don't think that's the case. I think that they'll work well in territory battles, but I think it's because they had to get them out before the next movie. Because everything's a timing thing with them, right? If you get to know. So I think the veteran smugglers both will be needed. I think that Poe, because he's Resistance, Finn, not so much, because I think that they're not going to necessarily focus on him, but Poe and then BB8 because of that, and possibly old Rey, because we had to use old Luke to get new Luke.
That's
so
true.
Old Rey to get new Rey. So I could see it being the veteran smugglers, BB8, Finn, and or Finn, sorry, not Poe, because Finn's the one trying to like rescue her in the movie and stuff. So it could be like,
one thing we didn't talk about yet that's coming out with the new movie, and I hope that they become, from what I've read, they're going to be a big part of it, is the Knights of Ren. I think that adding those 7 guys into the dark side would be a great infusion of characters for dark side. On top of the other characters you mentioned, like the Praetorian Guard and stuff like that. There's a lot of possibilities coming out with this movie. We still got DJ, which is Del Toro's character. So there's going to be a lot of. I think there's going to be a new infusion of blood and characters in the game when they come out, if they're going to go that route. But I'm just saying it has possibilities. All right, Bella. Next question for you. This is from Notorious Drac Knight. If you could be any type of stormtrooper variant, which one would you be? He said he would be a dark trooper. What kind of stormtrooper would you like to be, Bella?
Yeah, I think black would suit me, but yeah.
They're all evil, so you don't have to necessarily put black. You can be a dark trooper if you'd like. You can be.
I already have the
Death Trooper.
Yes,
Yes,
blaster
good.
at home. It's
so
bright
Bella,
red.
Oh Lord, Bella will be a Death Trooper. All right. Anybody else? What kind of stormtrooper you'd like to be? Okay.
An accurate one.
I like it in Family Guy when they had that scene where the stormtroopers are shooting like, "Do we ever hit anything with these guns? I hit a bird once."
I told my wife, I think that Comic-Con and things like that, going to the Comic-Cons and stuff are fun. We have a Comic-Con in my town actually in a week from today,
nice.
And I can't go because I'm working, but my family's going, and it's always fun to dress up and go to those things just to have fun.
Yeah.
And I told her I wouldn't want to dress up like a Jedi because there's just not a whole lot to the outfit. So if I went to a Comic-Con, I would actually want to dress up as a Death Trooper, just because there's so much to the outfit that it would make it more fun, in my opinion. And and so I would love to be a Death Trooper.
That'd be cool.
I've got a Jedi robe costume hire store 2 miles away from me. I'm banned from there now.
That doesn't surprise me, Mike.
Too addictive.
Oh Lord! All right, next question from Keyboard for you, Mike. What is your favorite way of taking the other team down? She says, "I love stunning them. I love killing them myself." But Mike, do you have a preferred way you'd like to use strategy and stuff for taking down teams?
I really the two for me at the moment. I've got a pretty decent arena squad, and I've put It Binds All Things and the lead Zeta on Commander Luke. Plus, I've given him a Gear 12 piece. And he's making me laugh a lot at the moment when he one hits like Nihilus or most recently Zaris. I don't think Barris exists in Arena at the moment. Every Barris is a Zaris. So I'm just enjoying CLS and if not CLS then Han. And the way that he just pow, and they're gone.
There
right in the kisser.
All right, next question for Warriors from Chris J. Do you like the fact that Zetas are hard to get and rare, so that not everyone has lots of them? And do you think they will make another mat even more powerful than Zetas eventually?
As far as making another ability mat, I don't. There's never going to be more than 7 stars. I don't believe there's going to be any higher than Gear 12. I think Gear 12 is the top. It's gold. It's the pinnacle. And if you look, normally when you go up gear, it says Gear 7 to Gear 8 on the bottom. And when you look at Gear 12, it says Gear 12 to Gear 12. So, like, I think that 7-star Gear 12 is the highest. Now, I do think that at some point we'll get to level 100. Like, I think that our levels of our characters will go up to level 100, and our individual accounts will go up to level 100. I think, in 6 months or so, we'll go up to level 90. And then in 6 months, 95, and 6 months, 100. So in a little over a year and a half, they'll be level 100, 7-star. And then Zetas, I think, are the highest pinnacle of abilities. I don't think they want to make them readily available for anyone because think about it, especially free-to-play, you don't want people to be able to purchase these things because if you do, it's the ultimate pay-to-play game at that point. They have to constrict everybody, which means they can't ever sell Zetas. And so then it just comes down to RNG and are you going to get them or not and stuff. But I know that, they do understand that they need to release a few more Zetas than they have been because what's happening is they're releasing 3 to 5 character Zetas a month and you can get 1 Zeta a month, basically, most people. And so what's happening is you're getting further and further behind. 4 characters every single month, you're getting further and further behind, and because there's so many new additions, it's also making old Zetas irrelevant. So the people that I did Savage, and I love him, but he's currently just sitting collecting dust, and his Zeta is not worth it right now. So they understand they need to kind of increase the flow just to everybody. But I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet. I did see, though, I think it was a Japanese pack where the people were buying chromium packs and getting 5 Zetas in their chromium pack. And that made me a bit sad. Yes, that made me a bit sad because
that makes me extraordinarily sad. You know how many damn chromium packs we've bought, Warrior? What is going on?
Yeah. And so I think what happens, and I could be wrong, but I've been told by a number of people that live there that they are required by law over there that they must by law disclose the drop rates. And so because they have to showcase the 0.0001 drop rate of a particular thing, that they basically have to incentivize their packs more because people really don't want to buy when they see the realistic chance of getting nothing. So they have to incentivize their packs more. And so he said the reason why he gets better drops over there is because they have to incentivize the packs because the packs show the actual drop rate prior to purchase. So I'm like, man, I wish that was a law here in America, that they showed drop rates and that then they had to incentivize the packs a little more, because I do find it unfortunately disadvantage and unfair for one country because of their laws to get a game advantage by being able to buy chromiums and get Zeta mats and have that one advantage that nobody else in the world has. So and again, I'm speaking from a third party individual who basically told me how it works, who lives there and has done it and has even bought a pack and got 5 Zetas. But yeah, I just saw. So I don't know. I think if they're going to roll something across to one group, they should roll it to all. But I understand business as well, and I get it if they have to disclose stuff and it's killing their business model for people to know the truth about the pack drops, that they had to incentivize it. But it would be nice to be able to buy chromium and get Zetas.
Damn right. All right, next question. This is from Dustin Tiny Rick. At Harry Carey. Oh, Lord. Did you already do the offensive mod challenges tiers 1 through 3? Hell yeah, I did. There's nothing like getting drunk like a skunk and doing all the offensive mod challenges. I like to do the offensive mod challenges because they look like little round pizzas. Pizza! And when you think of pizza, you think of Budweiser, the king of beer. Budweiser. Why have one when you can have 12? Here's the 0-2 pitch to Mark Graves. Oh, inside. Almost knocked him down. Ball 1, 1 and 2 here in the first inning. Hey, Mike, I got a question for you. What are we going to do about this Death Star? I'm worried sick about it. Your thoughts?
Well, apparently it's the most fragile object in the galaxy because, everyone seems to blow it up. I don't know why you're worried.
Oh, it's been blown up? Oh, thank God. I was worried because after I saw Alderaan died, I mean, there's nothing this Obama can't do. He's amazing. There you go, Dustin Tiny Rick. Harry Carey for you. All right, last question from Grim, and this is going to be the end of the questions. It's at the end when we're starting to get questions like this. We'll go around the corn for old Grande, the reason Grande had a job, he had a business call. It happens. He asked boxers or briefs. Grim, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but I'm going to ask Bella, but I'm pretty sure this doesn't apply to her, but boxers or briefs, Bella? Maybe you have a preference on men.
What?
Boxers or briefs? It's boxers or briefs, Bella. It's not rocket science. Pick one and we'll move on.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You made a wise choice. If you'd picked either one, I would have been worried about you. We would have started kung fu fighting immediately.
It's two kinds of underwear that are popular for guys.
Yeah, okay. So that was my thought, and I thought, my God, they are not talking about underwear, are they?
Yes, we are. It's what you need to get through daily life.
What kind of? That is. I think it doesn't depend on the underwear. It depends on the man, right?
Oh, let's find out. Hey, Mike, you like boxers or tidy whities?
I'm not a fan of budgie smugglers, I must admit. They restrict everything too much.
Oh, you made a good choice. If you'd said the other one, I would have come at you hard. You would have been in a coma.
I think you need to rephrase what you just said there, mate.
What do you mean? Long fly ball to the warning track. McGriddles has got it. 2-way here in the bottom of the third. What about you, Warrior?
So there's actually a thing called boxer briefs.
I wear both.
Briefs, but they're a brief, but they look like boxers. They're just a little tighter than boxers, but looser than briefs. So that's what I wear as boxer briefs. And that's, by the way, TMI.
Who cares? Everybody wears underwear. It's not like it's dirty. All right, so that's the end of all the questions. So now we will do what we do, and first we thank everybody for being in there, for all the great questions. Everybody. In the chat that was here. Appreciate all you guys. We had a lot of great questions and a lot of participation. So with that being said, let's go around the corn, as old Grande Petroni would say, and pimp our stuff. Bella, where can people find Darth Bella?
Yeah, people can find me playing the game right now. I didn't do so many videos, but I just learned that some of my videos are still up to date because like the Thrawns event, and I have this channel called Darth Bella, and yeah, you're welcome to check it and leave your comments there.
Very nice. You got any plans for new videos or anything?
Yeah, I was actually. I want to continue with my interviews, but they were a bit intense. And so I kind of needed a break, not from game, but from videos and from the interviews.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
Yeah, so I will continue with that, but I also want to do more about ships, and I get distracted by all the crazy events. I have many ideas, but you know how it is with ideas. You need to focus on one or two, otherwise you get nothing done.
Very good point.
So, yeah.
All right. So there's a link down there for Darth Bella. Check her out. Mike, where can everybody check you out at?
Thank you for hosting. I've got my own channel. It's MikeHunt, Mike Hunt. I do galactic. I'm experimenting with BB8 at the moment. Just practicing like warrior, testing out my territory battle squads. I'm also getting some interesting fleets turn up in ships, which is making that more interesting. And I run a 5th and ships series and stuff like that. Yeah, come and check me out.
Awesome. And then The Great Warrior presents. Where can people check you out, my friend?
Well, if they're peepers, they can come to Colorado. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm on YouTube. It's Warrior Presents, and I have a new video that'll be coming out today that I think a number of people will enjoy. It's actually an Empire leader video, so it's who's the best Empire leader, and it's really to kind of spur on an anti-meta by using Empire. And there are some viable teams in the Empire and some viable characters, so I really go over the leadership ability and which Empire leader you should be using to go against this this current meta.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Very well, very nice, very nice. And then some people that couldn't be here, of course, we have Remo from the Alliance. He couldn't be here, so this is a link for him down below. I think Turbo wasn't able to be on. There's a link for Turbo and stuff. So some of the guys that couldn't be here, there's all kinds of links down below. You know, go check them out, support them, give them the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that great stuff. And do the same thing for us. If you like the stream and what you're seeing, give us a thumbs up. It helps support the channel. Subscribe so you can get all the latest news, not just from us, but from all these great guys that take the time out of their busy schedule to come here and answer your questions. That's what it's all about. But we need your support to do that. And your best way you can support us is by giving us that thumbs up and subscribing to all these great content and all these great channels. And of course, you're on Reality Skewed Gamers, and we of course stream today, of course, from 10 a.m. to whenever we get done doing the Jedi Academy. And then tonight we'll have our late night stream where we just kind of be goofy and have fun. Sometimes I get drunk. Sometimes we celebrate birthdays. Sometimes I make fun of Grande and Finn. Sometimes I make fun of me. Loki just sits there and builds lightsabers. It's a lot of fun. So we'll do that tonight. That'll be 10 p.m. Eastern time. We'll do that one. And then, of course, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern is also our normal stream where we put out the latest news, notes, and information about Star Wars Galaxy Heroes and figure out what it all means for you guys. And that's done 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. And then sometimes during the week we do fun things. Like Thursday we did the BB8 event, so it was me, Finn, and Loki. You can find that on the channel. I did the event, and then me and Loki did GW. We played around with BB8. We will do some more of that tonight with GW, playing around with BB8 and kind of figuring some things out with me, Loki, probably Grande, Finn. We'll have the crew, and anybody else who wants to join can come hang out and stuff. That's kind of the whole point, is to have fun, talk Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So on behalf of myself, Warrior, Darth Bella, Mike Hunt, the Grandpappy Petroni himself, who had to go take a work call, and of course the man who scooped up all your questions and trolled you, Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman, the Troll Extraordinaire. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll check you out tonight, and if not, we'll check you out next Wednesday. So thanks everybody for being here, and we'll see you next time.